Nothing completes a trip downtown like a visit to Lindy's Cafe. You won't find a more relaxing restaurant to unwind at. Located on 5th and Central, proud supporters of Proview Networks, Lindy's strives to be a friendly and welcoming place.
Proview Networks, it's a great place to be seen.
I want to congratulate our first customers at our brand new facility right here at Gala Chevrolet, the Jose's. And how was your experience?
It was awesome and great.
What'd you end up buying?
We bought a 2018 Chevy Silverado.
And how would you say the experience was overall?
I bought all my cars here at Gala Chevrolet, and we couldn't wait for the new facility to open, and all the people really treated us well.
Well, on behalf of Gala Chevrolet, we say thank you, and we'll see you soon right here at Gala Chevrolet.
When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape. To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts. Like brakes and batteries. I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service. And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time. Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
The Barley Room, proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlings, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Red Menace, or welcome to Red Menace TV here on Proview Sports. Leroy Lucero welcoming back my main man, Michael Carlisle.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
And we should welcome back Coach Bob Davie, whose official suspension is now over, right?
Yes, he is back on the job.
So, did you, while you were gone, I know you had to go to Las Vegas, you went to the MMA thing, and then we had UFC, and then we had a state basketball tournament, so it kind of threw everything off for us. In the process, did you find out what happened to spring football this year?
Well, they had it.
They did?
Yeah. They had a spring showcase game and everything.
Did anyone show up? Did you show up?
I didn't go. I'm pretty sure I was in Vegas when that happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no.
I didn't show up either, and it prompted me to ask, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a noise?
Just because you didn't go doesn't mean other people didn't go.
Did anyone? That's why I asked you. Did anyone go?
I saw pictures.
The word I heard is that there weren't too many people, which doesn't shock me.
I think they kind of kept it low key. I don't think I think intentionally they didn't really promote it that much.
So my thinking is, and my question is, and yes, I know that there was off the field situations with suspensions and that sort of thing. I still think that you still have to promote your product, especially if you're going to try to ask people to buy tickets in the fall. I mean, the product that,
I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you.
Right.
How many more people are buying season tickets for Lobo football this year if they had promoted the spring game better?
Well, not just the spring game, I'm talking the entire spring practice. I agree with you, But I think you still hold things the way. I still think you do things the way you should.
You also
do
didn't have your coach there for a good portion of the spring practice either. So I think, and I don't know this is just me, I think there was a decision made to keep it a little more low key and focus on the task at hand.
You know my thoughts on that. Coaches come and go, but the program always remains the same. So you should run things in the program the way you're
always. The coach is the face of the program, though, and if the coach
is he?
There,
is the coach really a face of the program?
He absolutely
you think
is.
So?
He is the face of the program.
I guess you and I kind of disagree a little bit on that.
Fine.
I mean, which is fine. I mean that's. I see your point. You're right. But then I also see that, you know, there was points where I don't think there was everyone's 100% positive that Coach Davey was going to come back from the suspension. So, just a thought. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of catching up to do. Lobo basketball season ended. The NCAA tournament's going.
Lobo women's basketball season.
That's true.
As we tape anyway, hasn't ended. They're
that's true.
Sweet 16 of the WNIT. They play TCU Thursday night.
Yeah. So okay. So you're right. So I stand corrected. Thank you, Mr. Michael Carlisle. Baseball season's about to. I was going to say tip off, but they don't really tip off in baseball. What do they call that? Pitch off?
First pitch.
First pitch of baseball season.
Baseball season about to start. Yeah.
Pro baseball. Major League Baseball, I should say. College baseball's been going on for a while now.
For a while now.
Also, NCAA tournaments really hot and heavy, and what a year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who would have ever thought? Is this the biggest upset of all time? A 16 seed beating a number one?
You know what? It's the biggest. Yeah, it's got to be the biggest, at least in the NCAA tournament. I'm actually going to talk about that on the radio show today, just how it fits in all of sports with upsets, because you know. Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson.
There you go.
Certainly a big one. You know, there are a lot of big sports upsets. Where exactly does this one sit? We had never seen a 16 seed beat a 1. I think we realized at some point in time it would probably happen.
Did you really think that?
Yeah, but you probably think of it happening more on a last-second shot. You know, the team hangs tough with the number 1 seed, and you know they catch a lucky break at the end, make a miraculous shot to win. I don't think many people expected it to happen by beating the number 1 overall seed in the tournament by 20 points.
And the reason I ask is because even when they put in the what do they call it, the first round now, the piggy tail games,
the first 4, yeah.
Whatever they call it, the first 4, is that what they call it? Oh, by the way, good job UCLA and Sir. What do you call him?
St. Stephen Alford.
Of
the patron saint of Lobo victories. Yeah.
They're not UCLA victories, but anyway, when they added that in, I thought at that point number 16 seed would never beat a number 1 seed because they didn't put the 16s on the piggy tail game or whatever you call it. They still put the 16s at the thing, and then they just added whatever teams that they added there. So I never thought it would happen. I think it's shocking. Me personally, I never thought a 16 would ever beat a number 1. Just never thought it would happen. I mean, usually it's just like you don't even tune into those games because it's just like, why bother?
Well, because you're seeing one of the best 4 teams in the tournament play.
Yeah, but I mean, you know,
in theory,
they're going to smash the snot out of the. Prior to this year, you thought they were going to smash the snot out of everybody.
I guess another one of those things we disagree on.
Yes, we did. Well, that's because you're a Duke fan, and they're usually a number 1 seed, aren't they?
Well, they're a 2 seed.
I said usually. Usually. So we can talk about that NCAA tournament, Lobo basketball, both men's and women's. I guess the sky's the limit, and just find out what happened with the UFC while you were gone.
Yeah, let's talk about that shirt. Another one of the things I'm guessing we disagree on, because I assume you looked in your closet this morning and thought, hey, I'm going to wear this shirt. It looks good. Meanwhile, I look at that shirt and I want to go on a picnic.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fine.
That's what it looks like, a tablecloth.
Are you saying you're hungry? You didn't eat?
Or go down to the diner or something.
Well, I guess.
Come on, dude.
This is a great shirt.
Did you make me a sandwich? Or?
I don't have any sandwiches. I can get you an ant, though, if you want, or a couple of them.
No, I'm good.
Summer's here, kind of. Spring's here.
Spring's barely here, dude.
We know because it blew in very cold and
it did.
Very harshly this past weekend. So, and it's basketball season, kind of.
Yeah, oh no, it's still basketball season.
So why don't we take a quick break? Micah Frankel will be here with CageMinds.com. We'll come back and discuss all the things that we opened up with.
Like that shirt.
And maybe you can run and go get a sandwich while Micah's talking.
Maybe. I'm not going to run, but you know.
right, that'll send back. Wild left, and Lucero fires some right back. These two, both of them trying to finish it right away. Perez on the left hand, another one, and look out!
Straub, that's it on the line to center, way back there.
Deep.
It's going to send
go.
it back. It's going all the way to the wall. Around to score easily, Autry. We're going to wave around another one. It's a 2-run double for Hunter Straub.
It's a couple on the right hand and the left. And Ruiz is running.
Ruiz needs to pick that left up before.
And Castillo. Well, this could be fast, guys.
In his last goal.
And that's it. Another right hand has put Ruiz. Oh, he's going to go down on the right hand. Mongoose Baca.
Be Adrian Ortega Field now after the first state championship they won.
Oh, tough hop and a beauty at third base. Oh,
Great play.
what a play. Put a star on that one for Straub. A quick inning for Shoneman, still 2-0 Bear.
Left hand by Torres, look out! Rodriguez is in trouble. A right hand, another, and that's it. Rocky Burke has said that is it. Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all, or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, #life change will occur.
Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. This is the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. We had a lot of face punching this weekend as Legacy Boxing brought us Route to Glory at the Route 66 Casino. And first up to talk about that event, we're going to have Alden fire up some highlights. We're going to get started at the beginning of the card. The first fight of the night, in the blue, Gene Pettis, Jose Prado in the black. Both men going back and forth. A first round that would be the best round for Jose Prado, and I thought was his most dominant round. The definite round that Prado took, being able to put Pettis back against the ropes. As the fight would wear on, though, the sneaky left hand from Pettis would find its mark. He'd start to hurt Prado, and into the fourth round would find a knockdown. Here's some more action from a third round. The third round was very close. This is the closest of the rounds, the one where you could flip a coin. Really, I wouldn't be mad at judges for going either way. They both had their moments. A strong end to the round from Prado, but you still saw a lot of the power punches being landed from Pettis. Obviously, Pettis with a little gamesmanship there, not respecting the power of Prado. And I think we're coming up on it. We should have our knockdown coming right there. Right hand over the top. That was after a left had stunned Prado. I thought that was the winning knockdown. I thought that would put the scorecards in favor of Pettis. It's a split decision victory for Jose Prado in controversial fashion. A little eyebrow raising from the judges. We can go on to the next fight, which had a definite finish, a definite victor. Rescheduled from Expo Explosion, you had Christian Castillo there in the red, putting on the big pressure. The right cross would do all the damage against Timothy Ruiz. And the second time would turn out the lights. 2-0, 2 knockouts. The Punisher is his nickname for a reason, Christian Castillo. Let's keep it rolling because the hits keep on rolling. The left hand was money for Rodney Baca against Walter Alexis Aceto. I really thought that this would be a toss-up going in, but the power punching of Baca would just be too much. And watch out for the big hooks, that length, that lever, and that right hook right there. One hitter quitter, the knockout victory for Ronnie Baca. Still undefeated now, 3 wins, no losses, and 1 draw to his record. That the most definite and impressive of his victories. We had an impressive pro debut. In the next fight, you get Baby Angel, or Angel Baby, Aaron Pettis taking on Levi Lucero. Levi Lucero, the MMA fighter, tried to throw in a takedown, mixing things up there, getting stuck in the corner, getting swarmed. The left hook 2 times. Body, then head, an impressive finish. And I agree with Austin Killeen, who wrote up in his article for Killeen's Corner, Pettis should be done with the 4-round fights. It's already time to use this, to move this spectacular young fighter into the 6-rounders, into a real veteran test. He's a title contender already with those kind of skills. We go on to the co-main event. And this was a full display of skill as Jason Sanchez had to fight against 100-plus fight vet Herman Moraz. Moraz, a lot of veteran tactics, a lot of savvy gamesmanship, but the cleaner punches, the better body work, the consistent effort for a great 8-round bell-to-bell performance came from Sanchez. I mean, this proved a lot. When you're able to stay in the fight and put that cardio to use for 8 rounds. Also, to not get deterred by your opponent just eating all of your shots, and the maturity to not fall into the gamesmanship. Moraz is heavy-handed, 35 knockout wins and 58 victories. He did that by getting guys into the brawl. Sanchez stayed technical, stayed behind his left hand, right there, jabbing beautifully, measuring, and working the body a lot. 12-0 now for Jason Sanchez, and you got to expect something big is on the horizon now at 12-0. Fast hands, fast feet. He showed everything that we'd want to see outside of finishing the fight. And again, against the guy that has 100 fights and has weathered so many storms, a great mature technical performance from Sanchez. Let's get right into the main event where Josh Pitbull Torres, there in the black, took on Morris Rodriguez in the red, white, and blue. Pitbull had told me prior to the fight he wanted to show a mean streak. I don't think he did that in this fight. He showed something even better. He also showed a prolific technical ability, consistent pressure, great punching in volume, mixing his strikes up, being strategic, swelling up the right eye of Rodriguez, and eventually getting the stoppage that we'll show you here later. But it was a consistent effort. It was surgical. It's taking everything that your opponent's giving and then turning it against him. It was a great performance from Torres, taking advantage of the openings. The camp had told me before that the overhand right and the right uppercut would play a big factor in the fight, and they really did. You had a game opponent, though. Rodriguez came forward hard most of the night, eating a lot of shots that lesser fighters would have went down to. You saw in the fourth round a near stoppage, the right eye of Rodriguez being stopped from the second round on, fighting through a lot of adversity. Here we go, Pitbull swarming, getting Rodriguez into the corner and just overwhelming. Rocky Burke jumps in. Josh Pitbull Torres, 2 in a row now, got the finish that he wanted. Now we're going to transition over to talking about the next upcoming local event. Southwest Brawl 7, presented by American Fight League, takes place March 31st, Las Cruces, New Mexico, the Las Cruces Convention Center. And going to be a part of that card, joining us right now from Perez Fighting Systems in Berlin, Aaron Taylor. How you doing, sir?
Good, thank you for having me, Micah.
So you make the commute every day from Albuquerque down to Berlin at Perez Fighting Systems?
Yes, sir. Every day, 7 days a week, 30-minute drive.
I think somehow I actually missed giving you the microphone. Oh. Okay, now that was my bad, and we'll have a funny outtake from this.
Just put on the outside.
Yeah, I'm letting Aaron put on his microphone right now. We'll tell you about him training at Perez Fighting System, was a Valley wrestler in high school, finished 2nd and 4th in state, and then transitioned over to MMA. And now that we can actually hear you, why did you transition to MMA?
I just wanted to continue the dream of wrestling since I didn't get to wrestle in in college. So I thought I'd pursue MMA and try to do the transition to that.
So how much is sparring for a fight like sparring in wrestling practice in high school?
It's a lot worse, I would say. Sparring's a lot. It took a little bit for me to get used to get hit and stuff, but I think I transitioned to that really well.
Now 1-0 as an amateur, and that fight happened over a year ago. You had that fight, what, 6 months into training?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I kind of took it pretty soon because my coaches felt that I was well prepared for the fight, and it was his amateur debut, my amateur debut, so it was like, why not get in there? It's gonna happen, so might as well make it happen sooner than later.
You walked away victorious. Tell us how that fight played out.
What I did is I used a lot of my wrestling and my ground and pound, used a lot of my weights and hips to keep them down, and most of it, I would say, stayed on the ground.
And now it's been over a year since that fight?
Yeah, it's been over a year. I was in the transition of moving to different gyms, so now that I found the Perez gym, I'm working a lot more on my hands and hand speed and putting everything else together into the mix.
Where are you in feeling comfortable in throwing those hands?
Honestly, since I made the transition to Perez, I'm very comfortable standing. They've helped me so much with my striking and being comfortable in the pocket and staying in there and working my hand speed.
What's it like training with Gene and Derek? I'm sure that they get in there and it's not just a coach telling you what to do, but they're punching you in the face, mixing it up, giving some active lessons.
Oh man, those guys hit hard. They're very strong hitters, and I appreciate them, everything that they've done and taken me in over there at the gym. And what's good about it too is that they're more my weight, so I'm dealing with a lot of pro boxing and kickboxing with them.
Now we'll go back to where I was earlier. Tell us about that dedication, making that commute each day, Albuquerque down to Berlin to get this training in.
At first it was tough to get used to just because of my daughters and everything, but after the first couple of weeks and getting down there, getting used to the drive, it's been a breeze. And everything that my coaches put into me, it's showing rapidly.
So what's the excitement level like for yourself right now as we sit? We're under 2 weeks to Southwest Brawl. First time in over a year that you're going to get back in the cage.
Oh man, my hand's been itching to get back in the cage ever since I stepped out. Like I said before, I was trying to do the transition of the new gym, so that's probably what set me off to hold up for so long. But now that I found Gene and Derek Perez, I mean, they're anxious to get me in there.
Now, we don't want to give away too much of your game plan, but do you have an anxiousness to want to get in there to throw your hands? You don't want to say that you're just going to strike, but to get an opportunity to go 100%.
As I would say, you'll see a lot more standing up this fight.
You know you can wrestle, so
yes,
there's
sir.
that want to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean, of course, if I get in danger, you go back to your roots, and of course, I'll use my wrestling, but I kind of want to show a lot of what I've been training and been putting in that work every day over there at Perez Gym.
That wrestling base, tell me about your jiu-jitsu.
Oh man, actually just the basics of the jiu-jitsu is what's starting to come flowing to me. And yeah, I would say my jiu-jitsu is right up there with my wrestling. It's getting there pretty good.
Now, you talked about wanting to continue on past the high school wrestling, not wrestling in college, but when did MMA come into your life, your board, into your view line?
I just been wanting to do it ever since I left high school, and I just never really found the right connections or the people to help me. But once I found Levi, he actually opened the doors to my MMA career, and he helped me pursue that and get over there.
That was Levi Lucero, right?
Yes, sir.
And you started out at Lookouts PFS.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I started off at Lookouts, and I was training there for, I would say, about a year total. And the gym ended up, unfortunately, closing down, so I had to make another transition and switching up to Perez Fighting Systems out in Belen.
What are some of those lessons that you'll take, though, from training under Matt and Levi, Matt Goulet and Levi Lucero, back from that old Lookouts PFS?
I would take back, oh man, they showed me the ground roots of everything. I mean, my striking, they helped me put my wrestling to my jiu-jitsu to my striking together. And I would say that Coach Derek and Coach Gene, they just kind of kick-started my hands a lot more and my kickboxing.
You guys in that gym, people are fighting every weekend. So I'd say, does it bring any more, extra intensity to you and Thomas Harden being on the same card? But does it feel like another just kind of regular weekend there with people fighting all the time? I mean, Derek and Gene stay active.
Yeah. Actually, that's the biggest part of the whole switch is what I wanted to do was just continue being active and just staying busy out there, and everybody out there always has something going on. So that's a good thing to be part of because it helps push me to my limits.
Now tell us about that. Tell us about you and your want for a challenge and pursuing this goal.
Oh man, hopefully someday I could say that I'm pro and a champion, just trying to work my way up there and get there.
Now, as we're getting closer to fight time, we said it's been over a year. You had wrestled for such a long time. How's the body responding to the weight cutting?
To tell you the truth, I'm not having to cut much. Right already at weight, so I'm maybe 2 pounds away. So it's not even going to be a tremendous weight cut or anything like my last cut, because my last cut was actually the one that was the more hard to do. So because my body was barely transitioning since high school, since the last time I cut weight. So this is actually been a lot smoother.
What kind of performance are you looking to have at Southwest Brawl 7?
Just going out there, letting my hands flow and getting that victory, being 2-0.
Looking to do that. Real quick, has there been any fighters that you've been trying to emulate in your game? I know you train a lot with Derek and Gene, but anybody on the bigger scene that you really look at and try to implement them?
No, I mean, I try to put a couple of guys together. I would say like Dominic Cruz, TJ Dillashaw, just trying to use everything that I see on them and trying to put it into my own mix. I would say I'm more of a freestyle fighter.
So ideally, what kind of fighter, talking about those guys, would you want to be? Would you want to see yourself at that advanced level? What are you looking for? More of a free-flowing movement kind of style?
Yeah, most definitely. More of a freestyle, just work everything. I don't want to be just that one, concentrated on that one aspect of the fight. I want to work I want to work jiu-jitsu. I want to work my striking, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. I want to just be a well-rounded fighter.
And then you mentioned your daughters already.
Yes.
Tell us about being a father, trying to do this for them, and splitting up your time. Talk about it.
Oh man, actually, they're actually my little gym girls. They go with me every day. They travel with me, and if it wasn't for them and just being Haven, being who they are and motivated me to get the job done, and seeing them in the gym and having that capability of taking them there with me and letting them see what their dad does on his time.
Has it also helped? It's a family environment at the gym.
Yes, sir. Yeah, see, that was my biggest goal, was trying to find the right place to where I could take my girls with me, because that was one of my main issues about getting back into the gym, was not being able to take them on my free time. So Gene and Coach Derek, they've been more than willing and acceptive of me taking my daughters down there, and have never looked back since.
I know you want to get the win, but even if you don't, what would be an accomplishment or a positive for you if you showed off some new skills? What would you want to do in this fight?
Just getting back in there, dusting off those webs, and just seeing how my striking's been, showing improvement. That's the main goal. Even if I don't get the win, I mean, just getting back in there and showing that I was capable of getting in there and handling my business.
Aaron Taylor, thank you for joining me this week. Everybody, go to cageminds.com. Go check out the Facebook page. Recently just shared an article. Southwest Brawl 7 is about more than just a fight. We're fighting for Team Mia. Referee Jolo had a referee that we've seen a lot here in the local scene. His young 2-year-old daughter is fighting a battle against cancer, and there are Team Mia shirts to be sold right now. You can check out the link in profits to help the family moving forward with her treatment. Go check that out. For this weekend, there's some action upcoming. Friday night, Access TV, we have LFA 36. The bantamweight title is on the line, where you have Ricky Simone defending against Zani, the hard-striking Brazilian. That is on Access TV. And then you also have women's action on UFC Fight Pass. Mizuki Inoue and undefeated Jornaroda from Brazil fighting for the Invicta FC vacant strawweight title. There'll be more Red Menace TV after a couple commercials.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Hey, New Mexico, come check out the newly remodeled guest rooms at the new Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center, featuring 309 rooms, 30,000 square feet of meeting space. New Mexico's only indoor water park featuring the Wave Runner. 2,200 square foot fitness center with hydro massage chairs. Also enjoy breakfast at our new Manzanita Grill and watch your favorite team play at Altitude Sports Bar and Grill. It's all at Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center.
Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you. Hey everyone, Adam Deal here with Proview Networks. Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of Proview Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 10,000 homeowners improved their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
Carmody Medical provides solutions for your everyday needs. Hot and cold compression wraps provide therapeutic compression for the shoulder, hip, and knee. The therapy wraps are constructed of an insulated outer fabric and a ventilated cotton pocket to protect the body. Elastic belts allow mobility and deliver a gentle, adjustable compression. The reusable therapy packs can be removed from the pouch and placed into the freezer. Contact Jim for more information.
Welcome back to Red Menace TV. Michael, how you doing?
Leroy.
I noticed you got your bracket open.
Yeah.
Still hope for your Dukies?
Yeah.
Looking at scanning what's left, how good a hope do you give them a 1 in 16 chance or a better chance than that?
Well, I mean, I guess they have a 1 in 16 chance since they won 16 teams left.
But I mean, come on, they're better than some of the teams that are in the Sweet 16, right?
Sure, but they're not in the same bracket as some of those teams. They are still in a bracket where the 1 seed's still alive in Kansas.
Right. Okay. So Kansas and Duke is probably going to be your big game. Is that what you're thinking?
Maybe.
What's left in the tournament?
Well, Duke's got to beat Syracuse. Kansas has got to beat Clemson. Neither of those are guaranteed.
Well, there are no guarantees, as we've discussed earlier. What do you think about future Mountain West Conference member Gonzaga?
They're on a nice run right now. They got a tough matchup with Florida State. Florida State's looked really good in the tournament. I think Gonzaga wins that game, but yeah, that'll be a good matchup.
So obviously the news or the opinion or whatever's been floated out that the Mountain West Conference and Gonzaga are, how deep do you think those conversations are for both organizations?
I think they're very deep.
Yeah. What do you think the chances are of Gonzaga joining the Mountain West Conference?
Oh, I think Gonzaga joins the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, now, of course, we've talked about conference realignments and inviting teams, and Gonzaga doesn't have a football program. Very rarely do you invite a basketball only, or well, the Mountain West Conference never has, because in fact, there was talk at one time. I know, just craziness. Lobo fans talking about dumping or dropping to 1AA. And then staying in the Mountain West Conference, and then the talk was, well, the Mountain West Conference doesn't want basketball schools that aren't competing, or don't want schools that don't compete in football.
That is correct. Here's the difference.
Right.
You've got an even number of teams in football. You've got an odd number of teams in basketball because Hawaii is not a basketball member.
Right.
They're football only member. So in this situation, you even things out. You get a really good program, out here.
Well, I was going to just say, it's Gonzaga.
Yeah, exactly. You take that in a heartbeat. Then you've got an even number of teams in both football and basketball.
Now, the rumor mill, and this is all rumor mill, of course, immediately started, well, what about BYU? Because maybe they want out of that conference now because, and they don't have, their football's independent. So sure. Would the Mountain West Conference, do you think there would be any kind of interest? And I'm not sure there is or isn't. Like I said, these are just rumors that I've seen online from some credible sources. I mean, BYU coming back to the Mountain West Conference. Do you think there's a chance of that happening?
Not right now, and here's why. It's simply because I don't think the Mountain West is looking to expand per se. Mm-hmm. I think they are looking to add Gonzaga and have an even number of teams in basketball.
Okay.
Now, if the Mountain West is looking to add 2 or 4 teams, to football and basketball, yeah, at that point in time, I think BYU is certainly at the top of the list.
So as much as Gonzaga, well, and it's not fair because Gonzaga is a national name basketball-wise.
Sure.
BYU, I mean, has their star dimmed a little bit nationally, both in football and basketball, you think, over the past decade?
Maybe a little, but look, that's still, a program that has a huge national footprint.
Sure.
But again, I know there's been a lot of talk about that, but again, to me, it looks more like the Mountain West is looking to even things out in basketball, and bring in Gonzaga. Now, like I said, if you are looking to add 2 more teams for football and basketball, 4 more teams, whatever, BYU certainly has to be at the top of that list. Probably a UTEP. I know some people would like to see New Mexico State get in there. But I don't think that's what the Mountain West is looking to do right now.
So and I'm glad you brought that up because that's where I was going to go to next, because there was a report or something of, I guess, someone down at New Mexico State, was it the chancellor or whatever, talked about asking to be invited to the Mountain West Conference again if BYU were to come about. And then you did mention UTEP as well. I've seen that name mentioned if the Mountain West Conference was looking to expand. Do you ever see a point where the Mountain West Conference would bring in BYU? Well, I think you do see it with BYU, but where they would want either UTEP or New Mexico State, or would they reach out further east and maybe go to Rice?
Probably Rice first.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And honestly, then UTEP.
Yeah.
With all due respect to the Aggies, and there's no doubt from a basketball standpoint that would make the Mountain West a little more interesting. You've already got that market.
Right.
The University of New Mexico gets you the entire state of New Mexico. And if you really wanted that southeastern tip there with Cruces and UTEP, honestly, you're probably better off with UTEP. But again, it's not a knock on the Aggies. I'd have no problems if the Mountain West were to go that route. I just don't see it happening. I don't see how, put it this way, I don't see how that benefits the Mountain West Conference. Would it benefit New Mexico State? Absolutely. But how does that benefit the Mountain West Conference?
Right, and in discussions with Aggie fans via Twitter, I said the same thing. I go, you guys are in a rough situation that you don't have a real market. New Mexico basically covers the entire market for New Mexico, except for that little southeastern tip, which Texas Tech basically owns there as well as UTEP. So you're just kind of buried in a situation. Your football's terrible. I mean, I know they had a good year this year, and they did, but it's not very good football. You're not even in a conference now because they're done with the Sun Belt, right?
Right.
So you're an independent school in football. Your basketball is pretty good. You're the king of the WAC conference. I mean, I would say they're probably the top program in the WAC conference. I mean, Grand Canyon's pretty good, but they're hit and miss. New Mexico State, I should say, has been pretty solid. I mean, they've gone through 3 coaches. They've consistently gone one and done in the NCAA, but they've gotten there. I think it stinks, but you're kind of where you're at. And on the other side, as a Lobo fan, understanding that no P5 schools or conference is knocking on their door saying, "Hey, come join us."
Does it stink? And here's why I asked that.
Okay.
Let's look at Gonzaga, and I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you the Aggies are going to be the next Gonzaga, but how did Gonzaga get where they're at? Now, they just didn't have a football program. It's not like they had one and they lost a conference, but basketball school. They dominated that conference every year. BYU leaves the Mountain West Conference. They go independent in football. They join the West Coast Conference. Adds a little credibility. St. Mary's has gotten better, but Gonzaga consistently dominates that conference year in and year out. They go to the tournament every year. They started winning games.
Right.
You talked about the Aggies winning the WAC every year, being one and done. Well, what if they stop being one and done?
Right, I agree.
What if they win a game one of these years? What if they win a couple of games another year?
This was the year, right? I mean, before the tournament started, a lot of people were really kind of talking up the Aggies as that Cinderella, that dark horse.
They were, but you look at the brackets every year, right? Well,
we've had that here too. So I mean,
it's Final Four, right? Yeah, I know. But I mean,
thanks, Charles Barkley.
Yeah. But the point is, you play the hand you're dealt with. And you see what happens. The Lobos could become a Gonzaga-like program. And I'm not saying they're going to be the next Gonzaga, But, you dominate that conference year in and year out.
Talking about the Aggies.
The Aggies, right. You
job.
dominate that conference. Oh, well, you just did it a minute ago, so
I know.
don't give me any crap. You know what? Everybody else is doing it. It's contagious. But the Aggies continue to dominate that conference. Maybe from a basketball standpoint, another pretty good school says, I wouldn't mind being a part of that conference. The conference gets a little better. Again, not great because you look at the West Coast Conference, still a one-bid league.
Right.
But you get to the tournament, you start winning a game here and there, and then all of a sudden, when teams are looking to add a basketball school, you're one of those teams that are out there that conferences are looking at.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, it does. Real quick, Lobo basketball, men's basketball. What do you think? Season ended. They finished third overall in the regular conference season. Made a heck of a run in the tournament. Were you expecting that run? I mean, I know it's possible, but looking back, were you thinking that was going to happen?
Yes and no. I certainly thought it could happen. Yeah, a little surprised, I guess, but at the same time, not. And a lot of Lobo fans are. I'm disappointed the way the season ended. I thought they had San Diego State. You had, a 6-point lead with 7 minutes to go, and then you went ice cold. And again, not to take anything away from what the Lobos did, because I think they exceeded most everybody's expectations. They were picked to finish ninth.
Sure.
They finished third. They're in the championship game. But the one knock on this team this year is going cold late and not hitting shots, and it came back to bite them in the Mountain West Championship game.
So looking at the overall picture of Lobo basketball, because I agree exactly, almost exactly with what you said. I mean, a couple of the players that the Lobos had been depending on all season long kind of came up cold in the tournament, but especially on that last game. And then Trey Kell just came up huge for the Aztecs. The one long three-point shot he hit was. I mean, what can you do? I mean, the defense was there. I mean, some guys they hit shots.
It happens.
But looking at the overall picture of Lobo basketball, I mean, and I guess I'm asking you to look into your crystal ball and play the great Karnak or whatever here. What do you think about this program in general now?
Oh, I think it's in a good place heading into next year. You know, you look at the players coming in next year, the junior college players who were here this year but set out. I think next year's shaping up to be a really good year for Lobo basketball, and I don't know where they're going to be picked in the preseason, but I fully expect them to be a top 3 team, you know, when it's all said and done next year in the Mountain West Conference. And certainly, look, they were right there. They finished third, but they never really contended for that Mountain West regular season title. I expect them to contend for the Mountain West regular season title next year.
Yeah, I'm with you on
Not
that.
saying they have to win it for it to be a successful
just
year,
contend.
but to be in contention.
So, I mean, so you've been around here long enough and you were here for the years of Steve Alford and then the Neil years, and now, I mean, what's the difference do you see now between this year and last year? I mean, you were there the whole time. You saw all the games. You were there. You could hear the crowd. I mean, as obviously the season started off a little crunchy.
Here's the biggest difference, and this is going to come off as a knock on Craig Neal. And that's not the case. I love Craig Neal, but
you might be the only one.
I might be, but you can teach effort, and we saw that this year because the Lobos finished third in the regular season largely on effort.
On effort.
Yeah, I mean they 100% did, and now the kids have got to want to give the effort. But sometimes you got to motivate the kids to give the effort, and I think Coach Weir did a phenomenal job of that this season.
And the fans, they seem to catch on at the end. Of course, winning fixes everything. We know how that goes.
Fixes a lot of things.
You know, and you can win in February at UNM.
Yeah.
It's amazing, huh? Crazy stuff.
Told you.
Tell you what, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back. We may talk a little bit about the football situation or whatever else is coming up. We'll be back right after this.
Ladera Golf Course. Opened in 1980, Ladera features a full 18 including spacious greens, a large driving range, roomy practice putting greens, and 4 large lakes. Surrounding Ladera, beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains to the east and volcanoes to the west. Ladera is a challenging city-owned course with the longest playing yardage of any other city courses. For weekend tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449.
Here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet, our ultimate goal is to make life easier for you. That's why we built our new ultra-modern facility from the ground up with the customer in mind. With 1,000 vehicles in stock, a great variety of pre-owned vehicles of every make and model, a clean, state-of-the-art service department focused on getting you back on the road as quickly as possible, and a sales team devoted to 100% customer satisfaction. All conveniently located in the heart of Albuquerque. We'll see you soon, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Nothing completes a trip downtown like a visit to Lindy's Cafe. You won't find a more relaxing restaurant to unwind at. Located on 5th and Central, proud supporters of Proview Networks, Lindy's strives to be a friendly and welcoming place.
Proview Networks, it's a great place to be seen.
I want to congratulate our first customers at our brand new facility right here at Gala Chevrolet, the Jose's. And how was your experience?
It was awesome and great.
What'd you end up buying?
We bought a 2018 Chevy Silverado.
And how would you say the experience was overall?
I bought all my cars here at Gala Chevrolet, and we couldn't wait for the new facility open, and all the people really treated us well.
Well, on behalf of Gala Chevrolet, we say thank you, and we'll see you soon right here at Gala Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Red Menace TV. Michael, we talked about
Leroy.
Lobo men's basketball, Lobo women's basketball. You mentioned Sweet 16 of the NIT.
Yep.
They're playing
TCU.
Thank you. It's going to be a good game. Lobo fans have seen, it seems like Coach Bradbury's kind of taken this team, kind of put his mark on it, stamp on it. They had the tough year, now they kind of got going. They started off hot, kind of fizzled out a little bit in the end, but they're back hot again.
They are back hot. They won 2 games in the WNIT. They play TCU. We tape on Wednesday. On Thursday night at the Pit in the Sweet 16 of the WNIT. And most likely, as long as the ladies keep winning, they'll continue to play at home. I was talking with Josh Sushan, the play-by-play voice of the Lady Lobos, earlier this week, and you know, of the teams remaining in the WNIT, I'm pretty sure the ladies lead all those teams in attendance. So, you know, with the WNIT, it's about getting the biggest crowd possible.
Sure.
So if you keep winning, they're probably going to continue to play at home, you know, as long as they're still in it.
This bodes well for UNM basketball, but the entire athletic program that's kind of one of the bright spots for UNM this past year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You know, look, anytime you've got a winning program, that's certainly a good thing. How do you mean it bodes well in terms of like financial?
Well, I mean,
because I'm not sure if that's the case.
Oh, well, it doesn't hurt if your women's basketball program.
By the time
even if you break even, it still helps.
I don't know that they're breaking even.
Okay.
And I honestly don't know what the payouts are for the WNIT, but when you factor in all the people you got to pay to work game day, from ushers to what have you, I don't know how much money they're making on these games. But really, it's more about the games. It's getting the more experience and building towards next year. And you look at this run that they're on right now, I mean, it's hard to sit here and say that's not a good thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
let's be honest.
and hopefully season tickets will increase for both the men and the women next year, as both, I think, had pretty good years. I mean, men's basketball had a decent year. I think probably the best year they probably had in about 4. And women's basketball, I think you might even make that argument.
Did you just take a shot at my man, Craig Neal?
Sorry, man. I know you love him, and I apologize. Yeah. It was a backward. It was more of a backward shot than it was a straight on. You know.
That's the worst kind.
I'm sorry, man. It's really hard.
Come at him, bro.
I've done that for years. Don't you remember? Where were you? You were sitting right next to me.
That is part of your problem.
Yeah, part of my it's part of my problem now in getting a job, right? All right, football, real quick. I know we touched on it a little bit, Bob Davie and the situation has that all wrapped up now in your opinion? I mean,
No.
I asked you if there was anyone talking about it on the radio show. And I don't see a lot of mention on Twitter or Facebook or anything. So, I mean.
Right, but see, Facebook and Twitter or the radio show aren't the end-all, be-all. And if there's not new stuff coming out, you're not going to hear anything on the radio show. You're not going to hear anything on Twitter or Facebook. But the Attorney General is looking into it. Attorney General, by the way, I do believe is still looking into the other matters he was looking into. So, I don't know. Maybe the Attorney General, one of the things, if he's so inclined, he would have subpoena power, whereas the other investigations did not. So if the Attorney General was so inclined to really dig deep, I mean, he could actually subpoena people. And if they don't tell the truth and they're found to not be telling truth, then, you know, they face legal consequences. So, I mean, and I'm not saying people lied before, but I'm just saying if he really wanted to get into it, I mean, he could.
Yeah, just my personal opinion, it doesn't seem like he's that excited in getting into this, involved in this anymore.
Do you see that on Twitter?
No, it's just my opinion. Just because it's been quiet, and like you mentioned, you still have the Craig Neal / Paul Krebs and everything else situation.
Why you got to tie Craig Neal into that? Dude, lay off my man.
He went to Scotland. What do you want me to say?
So?
Well, I'm just saying. So his name's tied in there.
We know who the ringleader of that was.
I'm sorry, Mike. I don't want to break your.
I'm just saying.
What is it? I don't want to break your love fest with Craig. You know.
Looks more like a liver, but whatever.
No, I'm just saying if the longer it goes on, and me personally, I really don't understand. If I thought and I think I said this when this first broke, the suspension. If you're going to suspend him, why not just let him go, and just call it a day? I understand the finances.
I don't think UNM wanted to fire him.
Okay.
But when allegations of wrongdoing come up, you have to
follow through.
You have to follow. You have to investigate. You have to do your due diligence. But if you read the letter that Jackie Abdallah sent, it sounds like they felt like they had the grounds. Had they wanted to fire him, they chose not to go that route. That they gave the 30-day suspension. Now, certainly, Davey would have fought it if they had fired him, and you'd have gotten into a big argument over, you know, did they really have cause or not? But I don't think they wanted to fire him. I think they want Bob Davey there.
Do you think they want him there because of the story that broke today about being $30 million in the hole and trying to get $6 million for the Regents or whoever to forgive it, the university to forgive it?
$30 million seems like an awful high number, dude.
Oh, did I say 30?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I meant 3.
They're going to ask the Regents to forgive $6 million in debt and leave, like $1.1 million that they have 10 years to pay back?
You think that maybe went into the decision we want you to stay because we don't want
to
paying another coach
again
to not play or to not coach?
Again, I think from the UNM's perspective, I think they felt like they
had enough to terminate for cause.
Right. What they laid out, the violation of university policy, I mean, that's cause.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I'm just getting your opinions. Right. I don't know. Neither of us really know. It just, the whole thing came off weird. You guys didn't have I'm sure you didn't have like a party and welcome back Bob Davey when the suspension was over or anything? You didn't have cake in the studio?
He wasn't suspended from the sports animal. Why did we welcome him back?
I'm just curious. Because you are the leader of the fan base now.
I don't think that's the case.
You don't think that's the case?
No.
I hear your show. The Lobo fans are calling all the time. It's an award-winning show. Yeah. People love to talk to you and Mr. Trujillo.
I'm more like a facilitator.
Oh, okay. You're like the water boy?
Well, no, the facilitator. The people call in.
I thought you were like driving the bandwagon now.
No.
No? No. I'm really disappointed. I thought for sure you were the bandwagon driver.
If I'm going to hop on a bandwagon, I'm hopping on the bandwagon down south. You know, the team that won a bowl game.
Oh!
The team that made the NCAA tournament. I'm not hopping on any bandwagons.
Oh, okay.
I got a job to do. I do my job.
And you do it very well.
Yeah. And stop talking smack about Craig Neal. Enough time, it's gone, dude. It's over. Let it go.
It's over. I'm letting it go. I'm just, but you have to look back at we're at that.
No, I'm kidding. That's absolutely.
I know. Absolutely. I get it. I know exactly what you're saying. Baseball season?
Yeah.
Cubs?
Yeah.
They're going to win this year?
Absolutely.
Should I go put money on the bank? The next time you go to Las Vegas, I'll send you with a check?
Cash. Send me with cash.
Yeah. Will I get the ticket back?
No, I'll give you a ticket.
It'll be with crayon. You have this. There you go. You won. But meanwhile, the blackjack table has my $30.
What if I doubled that money at the blackjack table?
Yeah. Speaking as a former dealer, that happens like never. Hey, speaking of, we're going to have to double. We're going to have to get out of here.
Dealer here, though. We're talking Vegas, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's where dreams come true.
Yeah, exactly.
Or are shattered.
Hey, we'll see you next week here on Red Menace TV. Leroy Lucero for Michael Carlisle. I'm out of here. God bless you all.